This video will instruct you on the use of PASCO temperature sensors. You will need a temperature sensor, a USB link, laptop computer, and an old chemistry book from 1990. The book is used simply as a platform. The computer itself should be on top of the book. The reason for this is so that if there is a chemical spill, the book will get soaked, but not the computer. Next, you will want to connect the USB link to the temperature sensor. I'm removing the temperature sensor from its bag. You will see that there's a place here for the temperature sensor to connect to the USB link. This is done by lining them up and putting them together. I'll need two hands. They are now together. Now I'm going to take this end of the USB link. USB link has a cable. It ends right here. Plug it into my computer USB port. I should hear a sound. And my computer now shows I have found a new sensor. What should I do? You want to click on the middle one with the pencil and the writing pad. Says Launch Data Studio. So I'm clicking on that. Data Studio appears. It is a program that will allow you to collect data automatically through the computer interface. This is a graph here. It's a graph. If you look at the details, it's got temperature on the y-axis. It's got time on the x-axis. It's ready to make a temperature versus time graph for you. You'll want to also go over here to the left. So here you are. Here's your graph. Here's the left. There's a place where it says digits, 3.14, like pi. Click on that. Double click actually. Brings up a window. You can see it's covering up my graph, so I'm going to move it so it's not covering my graph. So I'm just clicking and dragging so it is not covering up my graph. Okay, so there is a window for the digits. There's a window for the graph. There's a little helpful guy at the bottom who says click the start button to begin collecting data. I'm going to follow that advice. Up here, up here, up here, there's a button that says start. I'm going to click it. When I do that, the digits display reads a temperature, 23.0 degrees C. The graph is starting to graph temperature versus time. In this case, very boring graph because the temperature isn't changing. So I'm going to start heating up the temperature probe with my hand. So I'm warming it, and as I do so, you can see the temperature readings start to change on the screen. You can see the graph sloping upward. So this is how the system works. You're going to want to use this to collect data. There's a tricky part where if the computer does go to sleep, which will probably happen to you during the lab, and you try to restart the temperature collection, it will probably fail. So the recommendation is wake your computer up and restart Data Studio all over again before you try to run your valuable experiment. Alright, a little bit more on what you can do here. You can see my graph doesn't really use the window well. If I go up here in the upper left hand corner, there's a button, and it will enable me to fill the screen with my graph. My graph looks a whole lot better when I do that. And if I right click on the screen and go to statistics right there, and I click on that, now it tells me the highest temperature that was achieved, the lowest temperature that was achieved, and the average temperature. The mean is the average. So you'll want to do this because you're trying to get to less than 0, and to sort of prove your point, you're going to have to show on this screen that the minimum temperature you achieved was negative something degrees Celsius.